AI will change language learning forever, but what's the best one to help you learn a language faster? AI is blowing up this year, and ChatGPT, Bing, and Bard have all hit the main stage as 3 options language learners can use to learn new words, get better at listening, and practice speaking whenever you want, even without a single native speaker friend to practice with. But it's clear that these 3 AI are not made equal, so which one should you use if you want to learn a language faster? In fact, the more I tested the 3 options, the more I realized it's almost not even a competition. There are clear winners depending on where you are in your language journey. In this video, we're going to do an in-depth comparison of the AI across 3 categories for language learners. And by the end, you'll know what makes each one special and which is the right one for you. But it all depends on where you are in your language journey, which takes us to category 1, which is voice capabilities. Having back and forth conversations is a make or break part of language learning, and many people struggle with this because they don't have anyone to practice with, which is where AI comes in as a conversation partner. But which AI is best for conversations? Let's start with a really important criteria: speaking and listening features. Looking at ChatGPT first, how easy does ChatGPT make it to speak with your voice and listen with your ears in conversation with their AI? Well, if we fire up the web version of ChatGPT, it's a bit disappointing. There's no native way to speak directly to ChatGPT, and the AI can't speak back to you either. Luckily on their mobile app, you do get the ability to speak to ChatGPT with your voice, and the feature is solid.
In Haitian Creole, tell me 3 of John Williams' top movie soundtrack arrangements. Not bad, ChatGPT. Its Creole's not bad, but Schindler's List should definitely be on this list.
Speaking works on the app, but the app unfortunately doesn't have a way for you to listen to ChatGPT speak back to you, so we can only give ChatGPT 2.5 stars here. But here's an inside tip. Not everyone knows this, but ChatGPT actually has an easy way to give it full voice features on the web with a Chrome extension, and it's quite good. It even has some awesome bonus features that we'll cover later in the comparison.
¿Quién interpretó mejor el papel de Spider-Man?
La pregunta sobre quién interpretó mejor el papel de Spider-Man es subjetiva y puede variar según la opinión personal de cada individuo.
And that's a cop-out. We know the best Spider-Man was obviously...
The ChatGPT voice extension is only available on web, but for mobile, there's another workaround that I covered in a different video.
Respond with only the French translation. May the force be with you.
Que la force soit avec vous.
That's one way to say it.
So if you follow my web and mobile tutorials, you'll get a modified version of ChatGPT that will actually add as a 4th group in this comparison. And we'll give ChatGPT Mod 4.5 stars for its speaking and listening features. Now, what about Bing and Bard? Bing does a solid job by including both voice speaking and listening features in the web and mobile versions without any modifications. So that's a solid start for Bing, and the voice features are easy to use.
End this debate once and for all in only 2 sentences. Superman versus Batman.
This is a very difficult question to answer, as both Superman and Batman have their own strengths and weaknesses.
But there's a drawback. There's no way to trigger a voice response. So if you're in a loud environment or can only type, you can't get Bing to talk to you.
There's no way to get it to speak to you. You have to speak to trigger the voice.
Bing also gives you a 30 response limit in the chat, after which they force you to start a whole new chat, so this makes long conversations harder. So because Bing doesn't give you control over the listening features and there's a chat limit, we're going to give it 3 stars. Bard, on the other hand, has both speaking and listening features on the desktop web version. And they got some things right. Like the ChatGPT mod, you can tap any AI response to have Bard read the response to you out loud.
Let's play this one.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, tú eras el elegido. Se suponía que ibas a destruir a los Sith, no unirte a ellos, traer equilibrio a la fuerza, no dejarla en la oscuridad.
But before we celebrate too loudly, mobile isn't as good on Bard. You get the listening features on your phone, but you don't have the built-in speaking anymore. So we'll have to take a star away for that and give it a 4. Voice and listening features are great, but there's another important criteria, especially if you're a beginner learning a language: speed and accent control. Imagine these 2 scenarios. You're a beginner Spanish student abroad in Mexico, and you fire up AI to practice Spanish before class. In one case, you get rapid fire Spanish with a Spain accent thrown at you at 200 words a minute. And in another case, you get AI that speaks slowly so that you can catch each word, and the AI has a Mexican accent so it's more familiar to what you're learning. Which one is likely more helpful to you? That's why it's so nice that some AI let you control the speed and accent of the voices. So which of the big 3 give you control over the speed and accent of the AI's voice response? Well, the answer for this one is simple. Bing and Bard just don't let you do this. You can't change the listening speed, and while they let you change the language, you don't really get to control the accent itself. 1 star. Now we know that ChatGPT also doesn't natively have listening features, so it's joining Bing and Bard on this one. But ChatGPT mod with the voice plugin and mobile workaround actually give you pretty powerful controls. You can adjust the listening speed to get the AI to speak at a slower pace, and for some languages, you have a wide range of voices and accents to choose from.
Sí, Te puedo ayudar con tu español en acentos diferentes.
Sí, te puedo ayudar con tu español en acentos diferentes.
So you might be in great luck if you're learning a popular language like Spanish. Not all accents are covered, and the speed change sometimes makes the AI voice sound less natural. So this isn't perfect, but we'll give ChatGPT Mod 4 stars for being on the front line. Of course, speed and accent control are only useful if you can easily switch between multiple languages. If you're a beginner student learning Spanish, for example, you'll probably get lost in conversation with the AI at times and want to ask questions in English to better understand the Spanish you're hearing. So which AI makes it easy for you to use multiple languages in the same conversation or easily switch between languages? ChatGPT gives you easy language switching when you're using text, so you just need to ask the AI. And if we look at the speaking feature on the ChatGPT app, it's surprisingly good. I tried to trip up the voice recognition by speaking in both English and Spanish in the same sentence, and it actually did a pretty good job understanding me even though I switched languages mid-sentence.
Hi, how are you? Voy a probar a hablar en español and then switch back to English para ver cómo funciona. No way it got that. Nice.
Not bad, ChatGPT. It's missing speaking and listening features on web, and it has no listening on mobile, so we have to take some points away for that. But the support for multiple languages on the ChatGPT app speaking part gets it a 3-star here. Now, if we look at the ChatGPT mod, we get all this plus more controls on the speaking and listening languages. Here, I tried setting my language to English, ChatGPT's to Spanish, and then I had a conversation in 2 languages using this prompt.
I'll speak in English and I want you to only respond in Spanish. Rate the Aragon movie out of 5 compared to the book.
La película de Eragon, en comparación con el libro, es generalmente considerada por la mayoría de los fans como una adaptación bastante decepcionante.
And I was able to continue speaking in English while ChatGPT responded in Spanish. Not too shabby. We'll give ChatGPT Mod a 4 stars. In response, Bing and Bard both support typing with the AI in multiple languages via text. But with voice, you only get one language at a time that the AI both listens and speaks to you in. You can always change this one language, but it takes multiple steps to change it in both Bing and Bard. So because of the extra hoops to jump through for multi-language conversations, we can't give these any more than 2 stars. In all, when it comes to the voice conversations category, the modded version of ChatGPT has the lead. But voice conversations are only one part of what a language learner needs from an AI tool. The AI also needs to be available on the go, convenient, and reliable to actually teach you the correct information so you don't end up accidentally learning the wrong things and worsening your language skills. So what features do the 3 AI have in place to help learners with this? And which one is the most reliable? Well, it all starts with this and considering which of the 3 options is mobile friendly. Bard is a good first example of why this is so important. Because Bard has no mobile app, when you're out and about and want to use it, you have to open up a browser, jump to a website, and then you can finally start a chat with the AI. It might not seem like much, but when you're rushing through the New York City subway and overhear someone say the word tortolitos and realize you haven't learned the word yet, those extra steps are enough to stop you from using Bard to learn a new word and improve your language skills. Another con, Bard is missing voice speaking features in its mobile version. So I almost never use Bard naturally when I'm out because of the extra friction, and this isn't great since you always want to be ready to learn new words and phrases as a language student. 2 star. But I suspect that Google is probably working for something in the background for this. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed for the future. Now, what do ChatGPT and Bing bring to the table? On Bing, you do get a dedicated mobile app to chat with the AI. And unlike Bard, you get the full voice features on mobile. It'll take you 2 taps to start a conversation, 1 tap to open the app, and another to start the chat feature. This already makes it leaps more accessible and easy to use while on the go, and I pull this out regularly to learn new phrases. 4 stars. On ChatGPT, we take it up another level. There's a dedicated mobile app that can get you into a conversation in under 2 seconds. 2, 1, go. Nice. We're in. You tap to open the app and it takes you straight to a conversation without you having to do anything else. This extra speed makes all the difference. It's fast enough that I've used it to look up a word when I'm talking to a group of friends, and I frequently use it to look up phrases when I'm out or walking to the gym or watching a new show and hear a new phrase. The app has speaking but no voice listening features, so we can't give it full marks, but we'll drop a 3.5. The ChatGPT mod with the mobile voice workaround gives you the same access, but you have the added voice listening features, so ChatGPT mod picks up 4.5 stars. Being mobile friendly with an app is key, but so is having access to the latest information and verifying that you're not actually learning the wrong things. That's where the next factor, internet access, comes into play. ChatGPT falls from grace here and gives you no access to the latest information on the internet. So you can't talk about the 2022 World Cup, And no, you can't talk about Cillian Murphy's performance in the latest Oppenheimer film because those are newer events. It's not ideal at all. All hope isn't lost. OpenAI did play with giving users access to this feature at one point, and then they took it away, so there's a chance it might come back in the future.
Who won the 2022 World Cup?
I'm sorry, but I cannot provide real-time information or updates beyond my last knowledge update in September 2021.
But for now, 1 star. But before we strike down ChatGPT too harshly, it does have a redeeming quality. You don't have access to new information, but you can ask ChatGPT to cite its sources for the information you do have access to. It usually won't cite sources automatically, but you can ask for it, so 2 stars. As for the ChatGPT mod, the voice plugin won't give you internet access, but there's a separate extension you can add to give you internet access called Web ChatGPT. The mod works, yes, but it's a bit clunky to use and I'm not the biggest fan of it, so I don't find myself actually using this in the wild. And I'll consider making a video breaking down why, but the added internet access feature gets ChatGPT mod 3 stars. Internet lookup is where you're going to be big fans of Bing and Bard. Bing gives you internet access on the web version and mobile version without any mods needed. Bing also shares the sources of information it uses in its answers with you, often without you even having to ask. And you can of course ask Bing for sources to definitely include them.
How did critics rate Tom Hardy's performance of Bane in The Dark Knight Rises? Cite your sources.
Tom Hardy's performance of Bane in The Dark Knight Rises received mixed reviews from critics. Some praised his physical presence, voice, and charisma, while others criticized his lack of depth, motivation, and backstory. Here are some examples of critical opinions on his portrayal.
Internet access on Bing is really easy to use, and this is probably what I use Bing the most for, so we'll give it 4.5 stars. Bard is somewhat comparable to Bing. You get internet access out of the box, which lets you talk about any topic in the world, but after you send your prompt, Bard sometimes gives you the option to Google search your prompt to cross-reference sources, which is not the same because it doesn't usually tell you the source of information it used in its responses to you. It forces you to Google the question yourself. You can also ask Bard to give you sources, but sometimes it doesn't give you the sources even when you ask.
What was the highest grossing Batman film? Please include your sources of information.
So it's not as good as Bing here and we'll have to give it a 3.5. Voice conversations and convenience reliability take you far, and there's just one thing missing: structured collaborative learning. This is where we judge how well the AI lets you work with other people like language teachers to track and improve your skills, and how flexible the AI is to adjusting to exactly what you need, matching your language level, whether beginner or advanced, doing things like making quizzes for you, modifying its responses to be more formal or include slang, and much more. Without this sense of customization, the AI might feel too hard for beginners and too unfocused for advanced students. And you'll see what I mean through a few examples, but this category is really important and it all starts with conversation sharing. The value of being able to share your conversations with the AI is that you can send your chats to language teachers or friends and ask them to help you fix mistakes, measure your language progress, and also call out where the AI might be making mistakes to make sure you're not learning the wrong things. ChatGPT starts out pretty strong here. It lets you create a link to a conversation that creates a snapshot of the chat, and you can give that link to anyone to use and see the chat for themselves. It's also really cool because a link lets anyone use your chat as almost a template and continue the conversation from where you left it off when you made the link. So a language teacher could kickstart a conversation with AI about Avengers to practice a new phrase, prepare the AI at the right level of difficulty, and then share that learning environment that's already been set up with students using a shared link, and ask students to carry on with the conversation themselves as a language exercise that the teacher can then use to help the students improve. You can also access all your shared chat links here. So this is overall a really powerful and unique feature that makes it possible for AI to work with language teachers, not as a replacement. This is such a useful feature and ChatGPT does so well that we're going to have to give our first 5 stars of the day. Bing also lets you share chats by generating a link to your conversations with AI, and other people can use that link to continue the conversation. But for some reason, Bing sometimes only shares one response from the conversation instead of the full thread. Sometimes the links also fail on web, and I haven't been able to get them working fully on mobile either. So it feels like Bing is trying to build this feature, but it's not fully working smoothly yet. I'm hoping this will improve soon, but for now, 2 stars. And Bard comes in with link sharing as well, but you can access them in both web and mobile. And Bard gives you some additional controls to share just part of the conversation or the full thread. And all of your public links are displayed here for easy viewing. Bard is doing solid so far, but it does not use the shared link as a template to continue the conversation. So we're going to give Bard 3 stars. This next factor is so important that I might say it's the most useful or most frustrating if an AI tool gets it wrong, and that's structured responses. By this, I mean, does the AI let you customize how it responds to you? Length, format, difficulty, and all. Rather than the AI always responding however it wants, some AI will let you ask for tables, ask for vocabulary in a list format, generate multiple choice quizzes, draw using text, respond with long paragraphs or long sentence phrases, and more. When the AI can listen and respect your structure, it really turns it into a Lego block that you can use to build almost anything you want for language learning. Language games like Jeopardy, language correctors, a language writing coach, and so much more. And when AI doesn't respect your structures, it makes it really frustrating to use. ChatGPT rocks here. It gives you so much control, especially with GPT-4, that you can get it to almost respond in any way that you want. I sat down for a few days and created 100 ChatGPT prompts to get it to do things like create language games like Pictionary, teach me grammar concepts, and a bunch more, just to see what it could really do, and I shared the result in another video. ChatGPT is extremely versatile and does a good job at customizing to almost exactly what you need if you prompt it in the right ways. Yeah, I never imagined I'd be able to play Language Pictionary with an AI. We're gonna have to give our second 5 stars of the day. Bing is also pretty solid here. It does try to follow your structure, especially since it's powered by ChatGPT under the hood. Bing also gives you the option to decide how factual or creative you want the AI to be before it responds, which is also nice. Because Bing has a slightly less adaptive UI, it sometimes makes it harder for it to follow its structure like ChatGPT. So it's good, but ChatGPT has the edge. We'll give Bing 4 stars. And Bard? Yeah, this is my least favorite aspect of Bard. Getting it to follow a specific structure is sometimes like pulling teeth. Even simple things like asking Bard to respond in one sentence can be hard. It takes so many tries to find a good prompt that gets Bard to respond how you want it to, that I now only use Bard when I'm fine to have a conversation without following any structure or when I just want information. There's no world I see right now where Bard would create a custom game of Jeopardy for me. Bard does let you customize the responses to be shorter or more formal and things like that, but it lets you do this after the response, not before, so that breaks up the flow of the conversation a bit. Bard would have to take 2 stars here for now. Just before I tell you which AI I think is the best for language learners, here's an honorable mention bonus feature that a lot of AI don't have: image upload. On Bard, if you're set to English for now, the AI lets you upload images and it will scan the images and let you have conversations about it, which is really cool. I've used this for filling in vocab sheets or describing things visually in Spanish. And this is a super cool and unique feature that's not easily found elsewhere, so plus 2 stars for this. One more surprise, Bing actually just jumped into the scene and is now offering the same image upload feature. And Bing's is available in languages besides English too, so we'll have to give Bing 3 stars here. So with all this taken into account, I think that ChatGPT mod is the best all-around option of the 3 for language learners right now. And when I want to talk about a recent topic that needs internet access, I use Bing as my second go-to. I'm not counting out Bard yet, but I'm gonna wait for a few more improvements before I use it over the other 2 for now. These 2 videos will walk you through how to mod ChatGPT on web and mobile so you can do the things we described here. I hope this helps in your language journey, and hasta la próxima.